The Legend of Zelda has been around for almost 4 decades, and the hero has always been a male character, a green hat wearing, sword wielding boy or man on a quest to save Zelda. But that's all about to change. Zelda is her own hero in the newest game called Echoes of Wisdom. This is the first time she's the star in the main Zelda series, and Amanda Cote is here to talk about it. She heads the Serious Game Certificate at Michigan State University, and she joins me now to talk about this major change afoot in the gaming world. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So, I guess I should start with that big question. Why has it taken so long for Zelda to be the star of the game named after her?
Well, when we look at the history of video games, it's a pretty masculinized history. And that's not to say that women and non binary players aren't present. They've always been part of game culture and game communities to some extent, but rather the perceived audience that a lot of game developers produce for, advertise to, has generally been young men.
How has Zelda been represented, and how has that changed over time?
When we look at really early games, we do see Zelda as the stereotypical damsel in distress, appearing at the beginning, vanishing, and getting rescued at the end. But even as early as the 90s, or perhaps even sooner, we do see Zelda become a slightly more complicated character. So, my favorite Zelda game, Ocarina of Time, Zelda has an alter ego where she plays the character Sheik. And so, as Sheik, she helps Link proceed on his quest. She teaches him new things. And Zelda has appeared as a character with agency a few other times in the series. So I think the addition of Zelda as the playable character is really an extension of these moments of agency we've seen in her past and having her take a more active role in the story.
So, is the damsel in distress trope kind of old and tired in 2024? Is that the answer here?
I'm not sure we'll ever get rid of the damsel in distress entirely. It's a staple of some very long running genres like
Right.
The Legend of Zelda. Super Mario Brothers continually has Princess Peach getting kidnapped. But I think games are starting to play on that trope a little bit more ironically. So, the end of, I believe it's Super Mario Odyssey, Princess Peach is rescued by Mario, but decides that she's just kind of over the fight between Mario and Bowser entirely, and she wants to be her own woman for a while. So,
Yeah.
the damsel in distress trope is still there, but I think we're about to see more interesting takes on it.
So, this game, having her be the protagonist, the star of the game, how much of a change is that? Is it just another step, or is it pretty revolutionary?
I have trouble pinning Revolution too much to one game. When we look at gaming, female audiences have long been able to enjoy games and find ways to identify with characters that don't represent their gender identity. And so adding a female character like Zelda as the protagonist gives those audiences that are used to not seeing people like them a chance to identify more strongly on the basis of gender, but also gives other players a chance to experience a story in a new way, to find a different way to identify with a character. And so I think this is part of a broader trend of games offering us more stories and more experiences, more lenses through which we can view the world in exciting and different ways.
So, for women and girls, and I guess you could say this about a lot of people who have felt invisible over time, not represented. I mean, what does it mean to have a character like this represented in a video game?
When I speak with women gamers, they enjoy so many aspects of games. They play them for competition, they play them for challenge, they play them to socialize with friends, and they often use those other things that they enjoy as ways to look beyond or past the fact that they're not represented in games. When they think about representation, if they don't see people like them, they can still enjoy games, but it's a sign that this medium that they really love and enjoy is not necessarily thinking of them, is not necessarily for them.
Mm.
So, seeing increased representation of female characters in games is really exciting for people who love games for many reasons, but have often felt like outsiders or felt like afterthoughts to the industry. Being welcomed in as part of the main audience, as people who are deliberately being targeted via representation, is really exciting and something that a lot of female gamers are looking forward to in the future.
That's Amanda Cote. She's an associate professor in the Department of Media and Information at Michigan State University and author of Gaming Sexism, Gender, and Identity in the Era of Casual Video Games. Thanks so much, Amanda.
Yes, thank you again for having me. I appreciate it.